Inside Everett. I'm Kate Reardon, Public Information Director for the City of Everett. And this is the time that we have to bring really important information to you. And today's guest that we have with us today is Shawneri Guzman from Safe Kids, Snohomish County. And you actually do much more than that in our community. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
Well, Safe Kids is a 501c3 organization that's led by Providence Regional Medical Center, Everett. And so I actually work there in the emergency department abstracting trauma data. So when kids or adults are hurt in the community and come to the emergency room, I put that in a statewide database.
Excellent, great. Well, and today our purpose of getting together is really to talk about school's out, summer's starting, weather's getting nicer, and it really is a time when incidents and unfortunate trauma can occur.
It's actually called the trauma season because trauma does double in the summertime. Kids are less supervised. During school hours, they have parents there, they have teachers, principals supervising them all those hours. But in the summer and they go home, they have parents, grandparents, babysitters, less supervision, more likelihood of getting hurt. Absolutely.
So for emergency room visits, for example, how does it change from school year time to summertime?
You get the bike crashes, you get the kids falling out of windows, you get the drownings. These are things that we don't typically see during the school year.
And for the most part, many of these types of incidents are preventable.
Absolutely. We say they're 100% preventable.
And today we're going to talk about how that happens.
Yes.
Excellent. So let's talk first about just warmer weather and what's going to happen this summer, just like every summer.
Well, first of all, we want to spring clean. It's nice weather. We want to open all of our windows, and we're going to be cleaning closets and, cleaning out the winter stuffiness. And our little kids are going to be running around the house, and they're not going to have as much supervision. And we actually saw a 30% increase last year in the emergency department of kids falling out of windows. And we're talking second, third story windows. And those are some pretty, significant injuries for these kids. So we actually talked to parents about supervising their kids, moving furniture away from windows, using window locks, which are like $5 at local hardware stores, really inexpensive. So just keeping an eye on those little kiddos, going out into the backyard, your playground equipment, just looking at your surrounding area and making sure that, you have safety devices in place to protect your kids.
Absolutely. So why are open windows attractive to kids?
They want to see what's going on the outside, what other kids are doing. Screens were created to keep bugs out, not kids in. So they only can withstand about 5 pounds of pressure before they pop.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
And what about biking, helmets, skateboarding, scooters, all of those things?
Exactly. Just putting on a helmet reduces your risk of head injury by 85%. And head injuries are the most common injuries you're going to get in any kind of accident. We have, as children, bigger heads in our bodies. We don't fully grow into those until after puberty. So we are going to see a lot of head injuries. As far as biking and skating, most kids don't just bike. So you don't just need a bike helmet. You also need a skate helmet or skateboarding helmet. So look at the helmets when you go to the stores. Make sure you're getting the right helmet for the right activity.
And what's probably the most important piece about fitting a helmet?
There's a lot. Just putting a helmet on is the first step, but you need to make sure you actually buckle it under your chin. We saw a lot of our preteens, they put it on their head, but it's not buckled. That's not going to protect you. Make sure it's a snug fit. If you hook it up and tighten it down and you can shake your head yes or no, and it doesn't move, it's snug. If it moves, you need to make some readjustments.
Good. And we grow out of our helmets, don't we?
Absolutely, and they expire, so they don't last forever. And if they're thrown on the ground or if they're kept out in the sun, they do warp. They're not made of any kind of special materials that last forever, so you want to make sure they're still in good working condition. And if you've ever crashed your bike and struck your helmet on the ground, it needs to be replaced. It won't be able to sustain a crash the next time.
Okay, good, good. And of course, when the summertime comes and the weather gets nicer, we all want to be down by the water. Really attractive.
Yes.
But it can definitely cause panic very quickly. So what are the tips that we want to know today about water and being around water?
Well, this recurring theme that you'll hear in every injury area is supervision, supervision, supervision. So essentially, kids can drown in less than 1 minute. For the amount of time as it takes a dishcloth to absorb water is the amount of time it takes a child to drown and sustain lifelong injury. So those life jackets are going to keep your kids above water for longer, keep your kids within arm reach. If you're at a beach, it's a busy area. We don't have a lot of lifeguards in this area. We have Silver Lake has a lifeguard during summer hours, but you want to make sure that you have somebody who's responsible for watching those children. You're not reading a book at the beach, you're not reading magazines, you're watching the children 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm. And about what age are kids able to be responsible? If they're good swimmers, what age can they be unsupervised?
That's really hard. The last couple of years we've had a lot of teens who have drowned. They overestimate their abilities. So we tell parents to always have swim buddies. Swim lessons are a huge benefit. As early as you can, get them into the little Orca swim programs at your local pools. Swim lessons will definitely make a big difference, but keep adult supervision at least up until age 14, and after that you need to reassess every child and their abilities, and the buddy system definitely.
Mm-hmm. And about what age should we still go in the water with our kids?
Again, depends on their swimming ability, if they have a life jacket on. I see a lot of kids, even age 10, 12, they overestimate their abilities a lot of the times. And they're running and jumping and getting out of breath, and it's silent. You don't hear the flailing, screaming. That's not how a drowning occurs. It's very silent. So you want to keep your eyes on them at all times.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And if there's horseplay going on or jumping around,
yes,
sometimes it can be hard to keep your eyes on where those kids are.
Yeah. So we actually have people designate themselves as water watchers, and they watch the kids for a specific period of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if we do get into that situation where there's trouble, what do we do?
The first thing to do is just make some noise so that people know and it's aware, and the nearest people, swimmers around, can maybe give some aid. Mm-hmm. So you just want to make noise and make sure that people are aware.
Okay, super. Well, let's talk about walking and going for walks and just being out. We still have, honestly, we've got kids who are staying home alone at age 7, 8, and 9. That's probably not a good idea right now, right?
Absolutely.
But even walking, we're recommending that kids are at least 10 years old before they try to cross the street by themselves.
A lot of parents don't know this. So a child's brain isn't developed enough to judge distance and speed. So they might see the vehicle coming, but their judgment of how far away are they and how fast are they coming isn't fully mature until around age 10. Now that doesn't mean that we shouldn't start practicing safe crossing for as little as they are. If they're 1 year old, you want to practice that safe crossing, stopping, looking left then right then left again, crossing only at corners and at crosswalks. Those are important skills to learn, but not till they're about 10 are they able to really judge that. And again, that buddy system is very important. You want to try to set up some sort of a buddy to walk with them to school.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we've got lots of tips today, but they're really important tips. Mm-hmm. What about travel, leaving kids in cars, things like that? It used to be acceptable.
Oh, absolutely, and not anymore. We actually have done a lot of studies on how fast a car can heat up. We have some great experiments we do with eggs on dashboards, and even here in the Great Northwest, we don't have a lot of really hot days, but we do have hot enough days that you can fry an egg on the dashboard of your vehicle. And kids in cars are going to become too hot and dehydrated, and it's a very dangerous situation.
Mm-hmm. I did see a photograph on Facebook not too long ago. I don't know if you saw the same one, but it was a car, and on the dash of the car there were cookie sheets with raw cookies on them.
Yes.
And it was, I thought, what in the world? But it really could cook?
Those demonstrations are very powerful for parents.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. Good. And of course, one of the things that we've been hitting hard for many years now is booster seats, car seats.
Absolutely.
What do people need to know about the safety around riding in vehicles?
Parents are eager to rush their kids to the next step with the ultimate goal of getting their kids out of car seats and booster seats and into the seatbelt. And we just really want to caution parents that for every step you move forward, it's a demotion in safety. So once they hit that seat belt, they're not as safe as they were in that booster or that car seat. So keeping the babies, the toddlers rear facing up to age 2 is the new recommendation from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Protects their head, neck, and spine. We can fix a broken leg. We can't fix a broken spine or a severe head injury. Kids riding forward facing need to stay in a harness for as long as possible, and hopefully that's onward and upward to 4 or 5 years old. And understand the role of a booster seat. A lot of times when parents move kids to the booster seat, they think they're just about done and that they're ready to graduate from that safety. Booster seats are designed to actually boost you up so that the seatbelt works correctly, that you can take advantage of side curtain airbags and other crash protection that you can't even see that's designed inside your vehicle. So it boosts you up for safety. And really you need to fit the vehicle seatbelt appropriately before you can graduate out of that booster seat. And a lot of times, for my daughter, that was 11 years old. She's not a very tall person, so trying not to rush them through each stage too quickly.
And when can they actually graduate? Is it a certain height and weight?
It's really not, and the law is very confusing. So what the law does say, it says, or until the vehicle seatbelt fits them correctly. And there's a 5-step test that you can go on NHTSA or the Washington Traffic Safety Commission or our website that will give you 5 steps. If they meet all 5 steps, they're good to go. If they fail 1 step, then they need to continue being in a booster seat.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
great. And we all need to wear our seatbelts.
Absolutely. Another big issue is kids in the front seat. Washington state law says that you have to be 13 to sit in the front seat. It doesn't matter height, size, or weight. It's a physiological maturity of your internal body that we can't see. So you need to be 13 to ride in the front seat.
Great, good information. And of course, one of the things that we're all eager and looking forward to again is being out and barbecuing and cooking around a grill, but that can be very, very dangerous with children around.
Actually, this past weekend we had wonderful weather, and we had 3 burns in the emergency department, pediatric burns, 2 from grill and 1 from hot rocks around a campfire. So it's a definite and real possibility that that could happen. So when you're out grilling, make sure the kids are away from that area. Campfires are very dangerous, making sure kids have a wide berth around and not walking too closely to the fire. And fire, you know, kids like fire, they're drawn to it. So setting up definite rules and being hypersensitive almost to the burns that can occur.
We began teaching our kids about fire and fire starters and things like that really at about the time that they could stand up.
Yeah.
So, you know, just that early education of what is it to try to get rid of the curiosity to some degree too.
Demystify it.
But stoves and barbecues and fires and everything, even matches.
Yeah.
Find a match, tell mom or dad.
And we get a little more relaxed in the summertime out with the family, and kids are throwing twigs into the fire, and you have to be careful the message that you're sending, because indoor fires and outdoor fires are equally as dangerous.
Exactly. Well, and today we'll wrap up our part of the session with just some activity safety around sports and activities and concussions. Our knowledge of concussions now is so much greater than it's ever been. What do people need to know?
First of all, you need to know what are the symptoms of a concussion. And a lot of people don't know that you don't have to lose consciousness to sustain a concussion. My son sustained a concussion this year in football, and he was out of sports for 3 weeks. That included even riding his bike around the block. Anything that would cause a secondary concussion. So just really letting parents and coaches know that concussions are serious and they do need to be taken seriously. Also with safety in sports, dehydration. I remember a few years ago during a large soccer camp, a lot of kids ended up dehydrated because it was one of the hottest weeks of the year and the camp wasn't prepared for it. So prepare your kids, send along enough drinks for them.
Wherever they may be.
Wherever, yes. Even if they're playing out front, make sure they stay hydrated.
Excellent. And I think probably another tip for folks is if your kids are going with other families, know what the plan is.
Exactly. Yes, and you need to prepare other families for your safety rules as well. If you require a booster seat, they should also be traveling with a booster seat.
Great.
In their vehicle.
Great. Well, Shawneri, where can we learn more about this information or get more of this information to pass it on to others? What's a good place to visit?
We have a website, www.snow, which is SNO, safekids.org, or you can go to the Providence Regional Medical Center website. And I also believe Everett Fire has a link to our website as well.
Great. Well, thanks for the great tips.
Thank you.
Have a great summer.
You too, be safe.
Absolutely. And we'll hopefully invite you back in the fall and we'll talk some more.
That'd be great.
All right.
Thank you.
Shawneri. Thank you for joining us for Inside Everett. We hope you have a wonderful summer.